Be
And
more
I
accessible, I guess.
and I think that that's it, because what you don't know is, unfortunately, you won't have the, I don't want to say the quantitative numbers, but the lives that you will save. I guess it's just the fact that the kids are still here. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you will do, by going forward. So have you had any like success stories? Has anybody ever come to you and said, because of me listening to the story that you shared about Jack and Nick, that I didn't do this, or I walked away from that? Has anybody shared stories like that with you?
They have, and actually, that's what I tell people that is what feeds my soul, is when I
Hmm.
get those messages after I've spoken at a school. And I remember I spoke at one, it was last year, right before prom season. A school up in Chicago brought me up, and I spoke to the community, and I spoke to the school. And then we just started sending out like an email afterwards saying, hey, any tips on how we can improve um, you know, our talk, different things like that. And the gal wrote back and she said it was spot on. It was perfect. In fact, one of the counselors that was at prom, a kid came up to them and said, because of Mrs. Savage's talk, our prom plans changed. We totally changed our prom plans because of her talk. And
Wow.
I don't know what their plans were, but it was obviously something that they felt that they shouldn't be doing after I talked. And it just gave me goosebumps, something like that. We never know
Yeah.
what we
N-
prevented them from doing.
That's
It's
right.
just those feel good things that makes me feel like, we are making a difference in Nick and Jack's name, which
Well,
is
and
a
I
win.
I tell my son, all the time after the loss of my husband. Seth was 14 at the time when he passed away, and I always tell Sethy, it's life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And
Mm,
I look at you as such an inspiration, because I feel the same way about you. You did not have to do what you're doing to carry their memory on. Nobody would have said anything negative if you just decided to wall up in your house, for 3 years, for you not to talk about it anymore, to wear your heart on your sleeve. And you inspire me in that you've
thank
chosen not to do that, that you've taken this situation that could devastate anybody, and you've decided, what, no, I'm going to go out and I'm going to share my story, as hard as it is, so that this doesn't happen to somebody else. It doesn't happen to another son, it doesn't happen to a daughter, and it certainly doesn't happen to other parents. And so I
thank
really
you.
commend you for that, because that's something that's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy to do.
It's not easy to do, but I'm doing it for Nick and Jack, and
That's
it
right.
is just a way that we're creating that legacy of love.
That's
It's
right.
their way of still being able to make a difference in this world.
That's right. So through all of this, you have forged a wonderful relationship with Terry Bradshaw. Can you share a
Yeah.
little bit with
Oh,
us
yeah.
about how that came about?
Yeah. Um, so, like I had said, after our original town hall meeting that we spoke at, we got a lot of feedback from that. And one of them was a message from the Today Show with Megyn Kelly way back when. And they invited us to be on their show. We were on her show. And that night after our show, our emails just blew up with messages. And one of them was this very, very heartfelt email from this mom who had also lost her son from an overdose. And I just really felt the connection. And at the end of the email, she stated that her husband was Terry Bradshaw. And we, just had over the years have forged a relationship. I think it's just one of those things that when you have something like that in common, you kind of have that relationship anyway. But they're just the nicest people in the world, and they've really wanted to help see our foundation get off and running and to succeed. And so the last couple of years, they've come to town and we put on a gala with Terry Bradshaw as our guest, and Last year, he brought a friend with him. He brought David Verity with him. And this year, we were supposed to be having it actually this Thursday, but we've had to postpone it because of this little thing called the COVID-19.
Yes.
So we're hoping that we'll have that again maybe later in the summer because we've really love it when they come to town, and they're just super, super nice people.
And isn't it
Very
amazing?
loving and
Yes, and that would have and again, it's just I always say, good things come out of bad things, and I think that about
yeah,
this COVID-19, a lot of good things are going to. We don't know what they are yet, but a lot of good things come out of them, and so that relationship unfortunately came about a bond that the two of you have felt or an experience that you both had. But how amazing is it that you were able to that she reached out to you, that you were receptive to that, and now this beautiful friendship has just blossomed from that. I think that's incredible.
yeah, they're just really genuine people who are very giving, and I think it maybe helped her heal too, to help somebody else because she had, been through this a few more years than I had. It was still really raw with me, and just to have somebody there to talk to um, was really, really good. It was a therapeutic thing for me, and um, probably for her too. So it was a good thing.
There is something about that. I know that, after I lost Mike, the women that would come up to me and would say, "Hey, I know what you're going through." And I'm sure too. And so again, I want to plant the seed for you because of the fact that you've taken this tragedy and have done something amazing, and that you're okay, and that you're still here, that you will inspire moms, unfortunately, that will go through this same experience going forward, and that they'll look to you because you went through it and you did, and you're okay. And I think that that's probably too where, the Bradshaws too, they're like, hey, there probably aren't a lot of people that they meet that they can say, I know what you're going through. And
Hmm.
so for you, I think you've probably inspired each other, right, on a lot of different levels, because they were
Yeah.
able to look at you and say, hey, we know what you're going through. And yet you've been able to look at her and say, okay, look, she's still here, I'm still here, we can do this together, it's going to be okay.
Right. It's that tribe. I swear,
Hmm.
it's that the people you surround yourself with and the people who help lift you up.
Hmm.
It's just amazing, and like you said, out of tragedy, sometimes beautiful things happen. And I think you're right. I think our friendship is one of those things.
Hmm.
I
I
also
agree.
think the 90, plus thousand people that we've been able to tell Nick and stories, or Nick and Jack's story to, are also one of those beautiful things. And hopefully we've touched somebody's life because of it.
Well, and I think too, it's interesting. I know when Michael had always said he wanted to make history, his degree was in
Oh,
pre-Columbian archaeology, and so he's made history now. He's been recognized on the congressional floor and in Washington D.C. And his impact is so much greater being gone, unfortunately, than what it could have been had he still been here, I think. And I think that way about Nick and Jack too. No matter what they would have done through their college careers and whatever they would have studied and gone on
mm-hmm.
to do, that the impact that they're making on this world now is far greater than what it would have been had
It could
they
have been.
even. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's
It's,
because of you, because you brought light
oh,
to the situation. So I
well,
think that's
thank you.
amazing. I think that's amazing. All
Thank
right, so
you.
tell us, where can people contact you if they'd like you to speak, and where can they find out more
Yeah.
about the 525 Foundation?
Well, we have a website. So we're at 525foundation.org. And we also have a Twitter and an Instagram and a Facebook page, and we're at 525 Foundation on all of those. And yeah, they can send me emails at info at 525foundation.org. It's all on our website. They can find that. But I'd love it.
Awesome. Yay. Well, we are almost out of
Yeah.
time. Thank you so much, Becky, for joining us today.
You
I
are
appreciate
so
you
very welcome.
taking the time to share your work, the work that you do in honor of your sons. I think it's amazing.
Well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you too, Kim. Thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you. If you have any questions or comments or would like to know more about the guests on our show, or for more information about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you for joining me today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.